All right. We have mics on both sides. Please raise your hand. We'll get you a mic and go ahead. Kick her off.
What was it like having everyone back out there and getting to get things started?
It was great, to have the helmets and spider pads on. We've been able to, through the rules changes and, have more time with our guys than ever before the last few years. But it's great. It's real. It's there. It's great to have the energy and excitement. And, I thought we had a very solid first day.
I guess heading into camp, any big picture goals that you have just for this camp in particular?
Well, yeah, again, daily improvement's still going to be the foundation of what we're about. And if we lose sight of that, I think we'll lose our way. But, we're going to have a lot of competition at some spots. I still think we're looking, for, what's going to, the rotation that'll be at defensive end. I think we've had some guys that have really had some great off seasons. Guys like Dean Miller has really stepped up. We've got some younger players that we're waiting to see once we get the pads on. A guy like Caleb Taylor's had a really, really good off season from winter all the way through the summer. Who's going to surface in those areas? And again, our linebacker core, where's the depth of that going to? And of course, offensive line. We still have some good competitions going on. Late addition of Bryce Foster is going to be something that we've got to get him caught up, and he's done a fine job. But there's guys there. I think Daryl Simmons has really. We see a different Daryl than we did in the spring. He seems more comfortable. He seems understanding. His body's better. Those are just some quick names because there's others that have done a solid job as well. But all in all, it's a lot to work on yet in a short period of time.
And you mentioned getting to work with those guys over the course of the summer. How does that help the team kind of hit the ground running when a camp setting like this takes place?
We try to simulate what we can under rules of about an hour's worth of what we do in practice. Now you can see we went a lot longer than that today, so it kind of shows itself a little differently. But you get a better understanding, especially with all your newcomers, of they get an understanding of what the pace is going to be like, coaching styles, expectations, things like that. Now, as I told the team, we got plenty to clean up in practice one, but I think that's been a huge benefit. We got to take advantage of it. We got a lot of returning players that understand, but we just can't, go through the motions of it either. And then we got to have them lead. There's still at least 30% of your football team becomes new every season, and new expectations and understanding of what we've done to get here so far.
What do you think of the player reactions to how the renovations have gone in this building?
Because there's still a lot of work being done, and there's phases, and we've put these construction people and everybody that's associated with our facilities under some really tight timelines, and we knew we'd be up against it here, and to be able to get in later yesterday was huge. You're the first ones back in this room, we'll kind of hit the ground running more today with the rest of this hallway and the new stuff. But they're excited. They see it, and I can't tell you how much Jordan and I appreciate our guys, because they've been inconvenienced and it's been tough. And I think last year, seeing what the locker room and weight room turned out to be, they were anxious to see it, and probably like some of you saw a video that later last night, a guy like Dylan Downing talking about what this was when he arrived here, and what we've been able to do facility wise is night and day. And that's from Chancellor and Travis and all our great supporters. It's great to be able to see their faces. It's like a Christmas Day type of thing, and they see they're exciting in some of the areas, and it was important for us to address the areas that they're going to be in the most first, and as we continue to get things kind of finished off in this building here in the next few weeks.
Hey Lance, I'm just curious what your early take is with the new revenue share, miles, things like this.
Like I said, I think we're getting to some the guardrails and parameters that we're searching for. You know, Travis is out at practice. I've talked to Travis. Just to, you know, we kind of miss each other a lot in the month of June and July, and never, you know, to get fully into the weeds and where we're going it's still vague yet for me at this time, and understanding where all this, now that it's been settled, and how that'll be interpreted by our athletic department and university. But you know, I hopefully we're getting back to, or getting to where we should be, not back. We're getting where we should be for the student athletes, and then hopefully that we all have kind of an understanding of what we're all dealing with. So to be determined, I guess, yet of where it's at. But I do feel I do feel it's good.
There are some other new rule changes with analysts being able to work on the field. You've got several former position coaches at other Power 5 schools. How do you feel like that helps the other coaches?
I can't tell you how excited I am with that. I'm really glad you asked that, Michael, because as you know, this program's been operating a lot differently probably than most at the Power 4 level, and maybe college football, because of some past things that have happened here. As you guys know probably better than I do, our analysts, when I got here, they couldn't even go into the position. And then they had to stand outside the field, and they've been coaching at other places all along. And that's been frustrating. And to finally see where they've come to understanding that everybody can help, you know, I'm excited about it. You got to be careful. You got to make sure everybody's on the same page and comfortable, and we all check our egos, but make sure that we're still in alignment of what we're doing. But I think we've added some really quality people. Mike Dawson spent time in the NFL. He's been at Nebraska, UCF, and other places. He's going to help us in the front seven. Brandon Shelby, Kansas City native. I don't even know how many extra years. He's 10 plus years at Indiana, you know, and he was interested in the corner's job. And I really respect his professionalism, because even when when DK was hired, he still wanted to come here and be part of our staff, and that means a lot. I know I'm going to miss guys, but you know, we have, you know, Pat Cerrone has joined us. You know, I've known Pat for 15 years, and he's an underrated football coach. We've got Brian Stoltz still with us on defense, and he's a jack of all trades and does so many things behind the scenes. Angus McClure was at Nevada, but he has 10 plus years at UCLA. I think he's going to help us not only with Darryl, with our younger offensive lineman. He's a 30-some-year vet, but he's going to help us in West Coast recruiting. Kelton Copeland just joined us had been in Iowa. He just spent a week or so with the Chiefs in their camp. Again, he came by this spring, and so Tyler Bolton came with Jeff. Eric Terrazas was at Iowa State, so he's got a lot of Big 12 experience. Was part of Matt Campbell's staff. He's working with Jim Zabrowski. AJ Stewart, you know, former Jayhawk, has been with Jeff a couple different places, but it also so we've got a lot of, like you said, a lot of veterans, a lot of people, and the nice thing is most of them are going to be able to do things on game day, not just in practice. So excited about that again, and it's again another area of new grounds for us.
Yeah, and obviously those coaches have different backgrounds. How do you feel like that helps in the meeting rooms with coaches?
Again, for me, and we've talked about this, you know, a lot of people, especially at the beginning, are people I've known and trusted. Some of these guys I've met along the way a little bit, or know of their background in tree, but yeah, I think it helps, and it all depends on when they get here and how much they can impact things. But for me personally, I love when we get new guys, because I end up spending a lot of time around them, and I ask for their feedback on what they see, from whether it be daily routines in the office, to our practice routines, to what they see, and it's been interesting, and that's really where you find your fits. Like a guy like Kelton Copeland just joined us, like I said, he came by in the spring, and it was a very consistent response by him when I asked him for some feedback, and he talked about our kids, and he talked about how he felt it was different than maybe other places, and I've heard it from Jeff Grimes when he first got here, and it was, your guys seem to embrace the process of what practice is all about. And equally important, they seem to really like being around one another. Now, I took that as that's a really good compliment on both sides, but it might not be happening everywhere else. And we have to make sure we keep that within our culture.
And then quickly on the field goal kicking spot, who are just some of the guys you're looking for to?
Well, it'll be, you know, Charlie had a good spring, really good spring. Tabor Allen's still there, but he's, you know, we like concentrating him on his kickoffs. He's been very good for us for 3 years. And then Owen has been there as well. So it's going to be competitive. You know, we chart everything, and we have the data. And as we get halfway through camp, I'm sure it's going to kind of show itself where we're going to have to start making at least some early decisions like we do at some other positions.
How excited are you at the veteran explosive players on offense? And what's their challenge during camp?
Yeah, well, Gary, I'm very excited. Anytime you got some guys that come back with proven productivity, it's exciting. You know, it's kind of, I said it to those guys a little bit in the spring, and I say it again, is number one, we got to keep them healthy, right? You know, that's first and foremost. But again, you know, they're almost like, you know, the vets up in St. Joe's or something for the Chiefs. You know what they've done, they're game proven, but yet for us, at our level and our way of doing it, I want to make sure that they keep their practice habits what they need to be when called upon, and then so that it sets an example for our players, for the younger players, on how we do it, but also they stay sharp as they still have things to work on. And as we get through it, again, we're heavy into the GPS units. We're all those things are where we're at today. Today will be one of our shortest ones we'll have, but it was probably the most that I've been true to it, because I've always been, but we need 3 more minutes of this, and we need 4 more minutes of this, and the next thing you know, 90 minutes went to 102 or something. And Matt Gildersleeve and others. I think, again, DK McDonald adds a lot of things to our staff, and it's, you know, a lot of those things is the recent pro experience and how to kind of keep a balance. But having those guys means a lot, and now it's getting everybody in rhythm. You know, Jalen, I thought, had a really good day today. Again, probably the most 11 on 11 stuff that he's maybe done yet, and excited about seeing him make some throws.
Lance, in a week like this where it's dangerously hot out there, do you guys have to take extra precautions, or do you guys have extra safety measures in place? Get to alter anything that you do on a week like this?
Yeah, Trent Carter, our head athletic trainer, who is, I'm telling you, he's the best I've been around. And, you know, we've already had discussions about these next few days. We thought today, again, I guess to answer it generally, yeah, we built in longer breaks, more breaks. We did last fall camp as well. You remember it was pretty warm. Difference this time, I don't think we had as many warmer days heading into this summer. So we're gonna look at it close. First thing is more breaks. We hydration test our guys every day before practice. And we had everybody cramping up today. We'll take a good look at it, but we have had discussions that the next thing would be, of course, is to go inside and be safe.
And then these days, obviously, you can also get a grind once they start stacking up. How vital is a guy like Jalen to having that consistent energy? How much does he bring that there?
Well, I think in kind of like Gary's question, is that when you have guys in those productive spots that, quite honestly, all of you like, you know, we talk about the most, it kind of, you can kind of put it on them to bring that energy, to be the leaders, to be the understanding it's going to set the pace so this team has an opportunity to reach the goals that they all want. But yeah, to have a guy like Jalen and really what he's gone through, you know, now can sometimes be a benefit for us in a very odd way. And that is, he is so happy to be out there. He embraces every snap he gets. And that can be contagious to a football team too.
Lance, you talked about the vets and setting the example and you know, for those younger guys. I wonder, we've heard a lot of that this offseason from those guys that say, you know, it's not just about me or my production or this season, but we want to make sure we're passing the torch. How satisfying is that for you to hear? Because when you walked in here, you talked about sustaining that culture, right? And now you're seeing it in real life every day, it seems like.
It is, and you know, and I'm the most guilty of, you know, we're always looking for something else we got to get better at, something else that, you know, they didn't do quite right or something. But you know, it happens over the summer, Matt, is, you know, you get an email about one of our guys doing an internship in the community or something, and you see them really growing as people and doing things and passing things on and representing, you know, never perfect, but none of us are, but the way these guys have gone about it, setting examples, and have grown into it, and it's like, you know, I told our leadership group yesterday when we talked about this building and everything, yeah, we could have maybe done something different and would have taken longer. We could have gone for a weight room and moved that and renovated that area and had one that had windows or something, but they never would have saw it. Okay, so for them, it's important for them to be rewarded for what they've done for this program, athletic department, again, campus and community, and to see them kind of do those things and spread out and grow is I guess is unfortunately one thing that we don't talk enough about when you're in this role anymore. That's very fulfilling as well.
And from the football standpoint too, passing on.
Yeah,
you know,
and again, they show this is the way it's going to be, and this is how we're going to do it. And some of those guys in the summer, they get a little taste of it, and they're around us. Yeah. But like today and tomorrow, they really see about whether it be how we do drills and how we finish and what we're going to do and how you're going to pick up after yourself and what you're going to do. And those are, but again, we hope they all transition to life skills as well.
How does the level that Kobe and Melo were playing at now compare to what you thought was possible for them when you got here in 2021?
Oh, yeah. You know, it was, Matt Gildersleeve went through some things yesterday about, and sometimes maybe some of you pick that up on social media or something, the before and after pictures. Okay, and then you like posted them as well or something, but Michael. You know, when I remember Matt said, you know, we played that game at Texas that we like to talk about a lot, but we had like 3 guys in the secondary most of the day, OJ, I think Melo and Kobe, and they all weighed under 170. Okay, and then we talked to them about it, and they start showing the data about how guys, including some of them, have gained weight and gotten faster. Okay, muscle will help your speed, all those things. So we start showing those things about where those guys are, and you start thinking about it not only of what their on-field play has been and maturity and through that, but how they've embraced and started to trust that process as well, and to see them go out there and play with such confidence and understanding. But as I said earlier, like, you know, with a new position coach and a guy like DK coaching them, he's not giving them much leeway. Okay, he's going to keep pushing them because he said if that's really where you want to go, these are some things you got to do. So there's still another level that they can get at. And the really neat thing is, you know, especially when it comes to a guy like Kobe, he is so competitive, and he when you challenge him in those ways, he takes it personally enough to work on it that he wants to show he can do it. And I think that'll be another great example.
You talked about just the home field advantages that you expect to have at Children's Mercy Park and Arrowhead. Has you seen anything that's reinforced the optimism that you'll have the fan support that you're looking for?
I honestly haven't spent a lot of time on that right now. I would sure hope of our fans and you know where they're at versus maybe traveling slightly different. Maybe it's going to be, for some, it's going to be a little more inconvenient by 45, 50 minutes of driving or what that may be. For others, it could be more convenient. I just think what is that we've got to make sure we take care of ourselves and play well out of the gate. But also, for those of you that were in Las Vegas for Media Day, I mean, that's night and day difference from the first 2 years that we were at, okay? The way this program is looked at, respected, talked about, not just within the conference, but on a national stage. And I sure hope that's something that our fan base embraces as well and can support us a way to be a positive factor when we do play.
You mentioned Caleb Taylor earlier, and I was just wondering, because we've heard people raving about him since the spring up until now, and just how was it possible for a guy who's been in your program for so long to take that kind of leap?
Well, a lot of things. But the number one is maturity and trust. And again, I would say that it'd be a great question for Caleb, but I would also say Caleb and I could sit right here together with you and probably say, I don't know when we first arrived, plus if he was fully all in. Okay, and that comes to guys in maybe on his terms. And he saw that he had troubles holding weight. Now he's over, he's over 310 and holding it. Our first year or so, we couldn't, he was down on, he might have been under 260 at one time, trying to play in games. And then, that's hard to hold up. You wonder why people are running the ball on you and you're under 260 in the interior. So his understanding that, and sometimes it's different, but I think through that, and he's become a very respected leader in a very quiet way in this program because of that. So, but again, he's a great young man, kind of watching, and I look back at those days too, guys. I know probably one of the mistakes I made with some of our younger players is when you show up and somebody's already on campus, you don't differentiate how long they've been on campus, let alone some of the changes they were going through. And that sometimes, that affects people. But to see, I think, the light go on and where it's been and where it's gone, there's a guy, I'm really pulling for a guy like him this year because I think he's worked hard and deserves it.
And just real quick, you were on grass today. You talked about it's a bit in Vegas, but just how much of the camp do you expect to spend on grass?
We're going to try to go on grass every day possible. Okay, so again, weather, the weather question may affect that. So if we end up inside tomorrow, then don't say I lied to you or something. Okay, but we're going to try, especially until school starts, because then it gets to be between construction, driving, student traffic, it just gets to be a little more on us. But when we had a chance to go out there, a few times in the spring, we did the camps, and I asked the players would they want to go there as much as they could, and they said yes. So I think all our legs and knees and joints and all that stuff feel better, and I'm not getting any younger, so I was kind of for it. But yeah, we're going to try to take advantage of it. Again, great cooperation with our soccer program and others that use it. But we're going to try to, weather permitting, traffic permitting, all that, try to use it all the way.
Hey, Coach, I know you talked about obviously complacency. You want to be able to have the players celebrate what they've accomplished the last couple of years, but of course you're bringing a lot of new faces this year. Maybe as a coach and maybe just the guys around, how do you not let the new guys maybe get complacent, obviously with the success you guys have had, and rewrite your own story? So how do you just every year's different? What's that like when you're not trying to be complacent, continuing to build? Yeah,
I think some of the things that we talked about, embracing and enjoying and having some of that confidence, I want that to carry through, but that's old now. We're started. This is the 24th season, and we'll be evaluated now on what happens here going forward. So you want that to be, and that's always been the challenge, I think, and sometimes the enjoyment of coaching is because even though you have so many returning players, you have a lot of guys who are new, and you have to kind of put the puzzle back together. For that reason, I guess I've been told, especially early in my career, I didn't enjoy it enough, enjoy wins enough, because I always felt that was already over and something new was on the horizon. So, and I think you've got to find that balance, but stay, focused on, what's there. I don't know, I'm not always great on all these sayings, so I apologize, but you got to look through that's why the windshield's bigger than the rear view mirror or something like that. So, stuff like that. But we got to stay focused on where we're going, because though we've accomplished some things, you can get into coulda, wouldas, and shouldas things, but we got a lot more that we need to do to be the consistent program we want to be.
I didn't see Tony Terry out there, and he's not, I don't think, on the roster. We got. Is he still playing football?
He's no longer in the program.
That's the coach.